Hey, welcome back, traders. This is your host, Mr. Know-It-All here. All right, so we got the weekly candle close here on Bitcoin. As you guys can see, we are currently below the 20 EMA, and we are right below the heart line. Okay. Hey. So basically, we're waiting for Bitcoin to make a move here, obviously. You guys can see that the 50-day and the 100-day are crossing up, okay? Similarly, that happened previously, okay? If we zoom back a little bit further, we could probably get this better on the BLX chart, okay? Thank you guys for joining the stream tonight. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Wow, we got 5 people on here tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that bell, and that sub if you guys like what I'm doing here tonight. All right. So basically, what I wanted to do is give you guys a quick analysis here on Bitcoin, and then we'll go through some other assets that I've covered in my alerts. If you guys aren't part of that and would like to be part of that, please DM me or any of the STP members. But firstly, let's just go through this briefly. Okay. So back in 2015, we had this death cross here. And then you can see we had this bottoming here, okay? Good evening, Joseph. Good evening. So we had this bottoming here on Bitcoin back in 2015. And then what preceded was a massive bull run, right? What you guys can see here is the 50. I believe that's the 50, right? Let me just make sure I'm not giving you guys false information here, okay? So the yellow line here is, I believe, the 50. Yeah, so that's the 50-day moving average crossing up the 100-day, okay? So every time, or in previous scenarios when the 50 crossed up the 100, we had a bull market run up, okay? So we're on the cusp of that right now on the weekly chart. If you guys can see that a little closer here, we are about to have this cross up, okay? And everyone's calling for $1,200, and everyone's calling for all these ridiculous numbers, back down at the 6K level, or even down as low as the 4,500 area. If we don't get the cross, then I'm in agreement with those people. But currently, the price action is kind of dictating otherwise. If we are above this area, I believe we will get this cross up, and we will head on further up. Okay, as we have done similarly here. Yes, there is manipulation happening with BACT and CME. So this might be. I mean, obviously this might have an overall impact on it for sure, but the CME is not actually trading physical Bitcoin, okay? It's actually just a derivative of Bitcoin, so they're going to try to push the price down. I mean, obviously that's what they want to do. They want to push it down so they can get cheaper Bitcoin. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update there on that. That's just something I noticed a similar pattern on. So if we end up crossing up here, then could just be fireworks, right? Could be fireworks back to the upside. And although I will say this though, the 20 EMA was never breached back here, okay? So definitely take note of that. That is one difference here that I am noticing, right? So this is not a for sure thing. This is just an observation and a potential scenario. And I just wanted to point that out for you guys is all. So if we looked at the oscillators here on the weekly, you can still see that we are in the bearish control zone. The weekly stochastic RSI is actually crossing up. Okay, so it wouldn't shock me if we did get a move up here, at least to test the 20 EMA this week. So scenario, and so this to me looks a little bit interesting. We are holding these moving averages here as support for right now. So it looks pretty promising. I will say that it looks pretty promising for at least to move back up to the upside towards the top of the channel here. As you guys can see, that this is going to act as resistance for sure. All right. As far as some of the callouts that I've made this past week, we can just go through some of those real quick. I think this week we had a few big movers. I called out Ravencoin. Called out Pearl BTC. Look at that real quick. I think that's actually on the move as we speak, okay? So yeah, Pearl bullishly engulfed the right through the resistance line here. I had this drawn last week, and it did just that. It just pumped right through it, okay? And if you guys were part of my alerts channel, then you guys would know this call out here. So like you can see, consolidated here. We broke out of it, back tested it, and then ran again. So I think Pearl is definitely something you should look out for. It's a newer coin, but for sure gonna make some nice moves to the upside. All right, our RSI is sitting in the bullish control zone at 65. We're just starting to create some serious positive momentum here. We had triple MACD, exaggerated bullish divergence, so that just means to me that we're gonna have a serious move back to the upside, right? So this is one to look out for. It's obviously a newer coin. We made it this double bottom here, so we can look out for it. I'm looking at Fetch, kind of a longer term swing trade on Fetch here. We have a roughly 154% measured move out of this downsloping wedge, and we've definitely moved somewhat already. If you guys are part of the channel, we definitely did give some alerts and updates on this. The other day, I think it hit around 940 satoshis, and it is holding this the top part of the triangle here. As you guys can see, we are just sitting right above the triangle where it broke out. So, you know, I do expect this to, we're hanging on to this positive momentum here, and we are just crossing up on the stochastics on the daily, and we are sitting in the bullish control zone right around 62 on the RSI, and on the 4 hour we can dive into a little bit more. It looks like we are on a little bit of a pullback, and that's fine. We did definitely just have a big move to the upside. So a back test here would be normal, and then a consolidation, and then another move up. As I have kind of a drawn right here. We could test back down to the 770 area, making a higher low here, and then back on up. Go BTC was another one that I had called out a couple of weeks ago before it broke out of this wedge. Okay, if you look at the weekly, I already had this drawn, and it is officially out the wedge. So the estimated measure move here is around 200 and I think it's around 190%. I just have it drawn to the 236 fib extension, as I feel like that's definitely going to be an area that it attempts to get to. Okay, and it's kind of on a 3-bar play right now. If you guys can see that on the weekly, we're sitting. We could have this resting bar even go as far back down as 150 sats. It'd still be a valid pattern. Okay, and on the weekly, the oscillators are sitting at the beginning parts of the bullish control zone, and the stochastic RSI is a little bit high. Okay, that's why we might get this a little bit of a pullback here, but we just started to create this positive momentum. Okay, go BTC. Another one I've been looking at is Hypercash. It is creating that bullish divergence here with stochastics on the weekly about to cross up, and the RSI, obviously we're still sitting in the bearish control zone. This coin definitely needs to get some volume to make a push. But if we look here on the weekly, okay, it's been in this pattern now since basically July, okay, or June. So you can see clearly that we had a fake breakout here. It has proceeded then down, obviously, and we created this falling wedge pattern that we're in right now. And it is kind of a valid pattern. We have a low here, a higher low, and now a higher low here. And we are just kind of consolidating right at the edge there. Okay, as you can zoom in here on the daily, you guys can kind of see that we are getting that consolidation. And with a series of higher lows, obviously we're just kind of sitting here. This coin definitely needs to get some volume to make a push. But you guys can see that this wedge right here is about a 100% measured move, which would take us right to that 618 fib extension. Okay, and thank you guys for joining the stream tonight. We have 9 live viewers. Appreciate that. That is, I really do appreciate all you guys joining the stream tonight. Do this for you guys, and I give away a lot of free information here. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Definitely give me some feedback in the chats if you guys like what I'm doing here, and if you guys have any tickers you want me to cover, or maybe you think something's gonna have a big move or something, I'd like to look at it and show everybody what you guys see, and what I want to do here tonight. I was gonna look at gold real quick because a lot of people are saying that gold is definitely going to be a sitting, obviously the safe haven asset throughout the next recession here. And I had something drawn here. It's obviously in a falling wedge, okay, just similar to kind of like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's more in a downsloping channel, okay, but this gold setup here is a little bit more bullish in my opinion than Bitcoin, okay. But Bitcoin tends to follow what gold does. There's about a 13% correlation between gold and Bitcoin. And as you guys can see on the daily, we are forming that bullish divergence. Okay, so I wouldn't be too shocked or too surprised to see gold actually make a move this week or next week. We are pivoting here. Okay, right? You guys can see that. And if I was to take some major fib extensions here, we're probably going to get back down to this 50% area, or maybe we don't even get back down there, man. It looks like we're. There's a lot of stuff going on this chart, so but yeah, I just kind of drew with this what I thought this was going to do. So I think it does something similar to this. Like it actually is just kind of curled around here, and I'm probably going to back test this this area here on the support. Okay, this is gold. Hey Frederick, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. So Loom BTC was another one I called out in the channel last week, and this actually did make a nice little move. As you guys can see, we had this little breakout up here. Let me just zoom out here as you guys can talk about the weekly chart. Okay. We could draw it basically from up here. All right, and you guys can clearly see that we're at the cusp of a breakout. All right. So basically, we're looking for that measured move around 226% out of the wedge. All right, this is going to be a big breakout when it happens. It's on the cusp of doing so. So definitely keep this one on your watch list if you haven't done so already. We're just going to leave this here, 226% measured move, and we will fib from the swing high up here. Okay. And you guys can kind of see that the support and resistance levels the SCP indicator providing is basically right around this measured move. So, guys, the measured moves don't always hit exactly. Could be more or less, right? Sometimes it can overshoot it. This is crypto, but sometimes it doesn't even get to the full measured move, and that's fine. Make sure you guys always set take profit areas. Whatever areas that you're comfortable with, or if you don't set the take profit areas, definitely make sure you guys set your stop losses. If you guys are in the money, set your stops above your entry prices. So if you do get stopped out, you get stopped out in the money and you have nothing to worry about. You can just move on to the next trade. Okay. I always tell all my students that, and make sure you guys do that. It's like, otherwise you're going to lose money if you don't. So I hate to see anybody lose money while trading. It's can be very grueling. And just lose money all the time, especially if you're doing the right things, right? So that's what I like to teach everyone here. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that like button. And here we go on Loom. Okay, so the RSI is showing we are sitting around that 37 area, which in my opinion is obviously the bullish control zone or the bearish control zone. Yeah, so but what we got going on here is some serious momentum shifting. Okay, you guys can see that we're coming out of the negative momentum area here. We have this just bullish divergence here on the momentum oscillator. Okay, and you guys can kind of see that we're getting this move, right? We're gonna get this move up. I don't know about you guys, but this music is jamming, man. I like this music real good. Well, let's zoom in here. Let's go to like a daily, kind of get an idea of how close to this resistance line we are. And as you guys can see, we are approaching this very rapidly here. And looks like we had this little move up. I think it was like a little nice 10% move up. We just got a little pullback to reset the oscillator here, and the positive momentum is building. Okay, so we are gonna definitely make an attempt out of here. Maybe I don't know. Let's just call it by mid-December. Okay, I don't know. That's just what it looks like it's doing here. So there's no guarantee as to when that's gonna happen. I just make sure you watch listed. All right, this is definitely one to look at. Loom BTC. Okay. Now, Maytech, this one is still ripping, man. I don't understand how this thing is still going, but The measured move of this entire pattern is around 400 something percent. Yes, I'm on log scale, and yes, we are way overbought. Okay, look at this positive momentum. It actually is still building, so it's possible this thing still runs up, man. This is probably one of the craziest callouts that I've made so far. Entry was around 170 satoshis. You just do the math. That's like more than a 3x at this point. Let's get a little quick analysis on Bitcoin. I covered it before, but for all you guys that just joined the stream here, get that up real quick. So we got that bullish divergence happening here on the daily. As mentioned before, we are still sitting in the bearish control zone around 75 or around 44 on the RSI. Our stochastic RSI is actually pointing down, so it hasn't crossed yet. So, but it looks awfully close, right? But we just started creating positive momentum. So in my opinion, this stochastic RSI is going to need to reset itself before we can really make a move up. But we could just do it. I mean, this is the daily chart, so if we go to like a 4-hour, you guys can kind of see we are above the 20 EMA, and we are kind of squeezing right now. Okay. We had this nice little inverse head and shoulders pattern that we made here, and we kind of made this bottoming pattern here, and it's gonna try to make a move here shortly. That's for sure. I don't know if it's gonna happen tonight or tomorrow or when it's gonna happen, but if it fails to break out again, obviously we're just gonna back test support areas. Like right now, we are pointed down on the hourly, and positive momentum is weaning off a little bit, so we could get a back test here. Okay. In the shorter time frame, but for now we're just kind of holding above the 20 EMA. We have made lower highs at this point. Hit 76 earlier the other day. Let's look at the S&P real quick. We got some big gaps happening on the S&P. We had this gap down, we had a big bounce, and the job report came out and kind of boosted the market. But if you guys look, we're on the lower end of the positive momentum scale here. Even though we probably do make a push higher, it's going to be on lower momentum and or volume probably. So we got to the top of the wedge and you know, broke down. So, but this does look like a little bit of a continuation, right? So if we take our high here of 31.54 and do a little quick simple math, okay? So we got 31.54 and we got our bottom here at 30.70. So that's like roughly 84 points, okay? So if you just add 31.54 plus 84, that's kind of the top of the measured move, which puts us around 32.38, which puts us like you know, right at the 1414 fib extension, or like a little bit above it. So we'll probably get another pullback there once we get there. All right. So let's go look at Ravencoin real quick. This one was another one on my watch list. I'm actually kind of currently in this position. I entered this around 385 satoshis, and I think we're gonna definitely make some moves higher here, right? We're just on a. This looks to me like a nice 3-bar play on the daily currently. So I think within the next 24 hours here, we get a nice move to the upside. Okay. And if we look at our oscillators here, we are, you know, approaching, we are in the overbought territory, but we are just creating more positive momentum. We had this exaggerated bullish divergence here on the daily, okay? And if we zoom out and we go to the weekly chart, you can kind of see we're just now creating that positive momentum. But there's definitely a lot of room for the upside here. Again, we're just creating positive momentum. But on the weekly, this could be a pullback candle, as we are right at the 236 fib extension, the major 236 fib extension. This looks good longer term here for like a longer term swing, okay? Next couple weeks, for sure gonna make that move. Well, back to the daily chart here. We are holding on to this moving average here. We had a little pullback here. You know, this is definitely a classic 3-bar play, okay? If you guys haven't checked out my 3-bar play video, make sure you guys do so. It's very informative, and it's definitely something you should be looking out for when trading moves to the upside, okay? And likewise, if you're trading moves to the downside, there's also 3-bar plays down, okay? Another one of my callouts was Harmony, this one BTC. Look, I drew this line here, this ascending triangle. We broke out of it, and now looks like we're going to be back testing it. So this was kind of a little bit of a hard rejection here, but we are still kind of hanging on to more than 50% of this bullish candle here, which again, this is probably another 3-bar play to the upside. Okay, if we look at the daily, we can kind of see we did get that bearish divergence on the daily, right? So we're going to get that pullback for sure. So we might just back test this this breakout area, okay? But if we zoom out and we go to a weekly chart on this asset, as you guys can see, we're sitting at 41 on the RSI, and thing has yep, just looks like that. We just made this igniting bar, and this is just a pullback candle on the weekly. Yep. This week it probably just pulls back and/or is a resting bar sitting on the 20 EMA. You might even fall a little further down, just wick, you know. That's standard. Okay. And then we'll get that nice move to the upside afterwards. Okay, so maybe by next week, this is you know, probably somewhere around that 150 Satoshi area. Okay, so this one definitely should be watch listed for sure. V-Chain doing things, right? So look at this rejection candle we had here. Where did we get rejected, guys? Right at the 236 fib extension, which was obviously a previous resistance area, right? Right down here, you guys can clearly see that this was a rounded bottom here that couldn't break through just right away. Okay, take 3 tries. Usually we get 3 tries on these types of deals. Let's look at the weekly RSI. We are sitting in the bullish control zone with positive momentum building. Okay, so it looks to me like this was just a short-term rejection, and looks like we're trying to 3-bar play and try again here. Okay, we go to the daily chart, you guys can kind of get a better idea of what's happening here in this triangle. We tried to break out and failed. Now we've now put in another higher low, and we're going to try again to break through the triangle. That's it, man. V-Chain. Go to Engine Coin. Engine Coin had quite a run last week, okay? I believe I traded it myself. We bought about a 20 to 30% move. I sold a little bit early on it, and that's fine. Better to sell a little earlier than not to sell at all, right, guys? So make sure you guys always set those take profit areas like near those fib extensions. And as you guys can see, Engine Coin for sure made more than the measured move on this triangle setup here. It broke out of it, hit the 50% retrace, and is doing exactly that, just retracing. All right, so I'm hoping that this is not a 3-bar play down, and that it kind of holds this trend line support here and kind of just makes another push higher. Because if we look at the weekly chart, you guys can clearly see that this is just it looks like a 3-bar play, and we've just started creating this positive momentum, and we're sitting around 54 on the RSI, which is in the bullish control zone. Okay, so definitely watch list Engine Coin. This could be an area to definitely take a position on the weekly. It's a pullback candle. Right, Engine Coin. You guys can see Engine Coin makes ridiculous runs up, okay? It starts. Yep, got that STP buy signal that came in on November 18th. I think that was right around the time I made the call out. It had actually had a fake breakout back there, but I made the call out there. So another one that I liked was ERD, and this thing is obviously making a nice rounding bottom in here, It's at the 382 fib extension. This is a newer coin, so there really isn't much of a pattern here, but it's clearly rounding a bottom here. So you could definitely probably trade this up to 52 satoshis. I mean, that would be definitely something in the cards. I mean, it's still creating this huge positive momentum, right? This is on a 3-day chart. So on the daily, it's just starting again. Obviously making higher levels. There is no real bearish divergence here forming. But if you guys look, we created that 1, 2, 3, 4 quintuple MACD exaggerated bullish divergence. Okay, that's craziness. Like that's going to be a big move. That's gonna be a big move. All I'm gonna say. I don't know how big of a move, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna be a big move. But we can kind of get an idea from the bottom of this cup to the top, right? How big of a move it's going to be. So it's around a 259% measured move from the cup to the top of the candle body up here. Okay. So I would expect this to make its way on up here. Okay. And we might make that nice cup, and then maybe we get a back test here and get that right and head on higher. Check out I think H bar. I called this one out too. It actually it broke a little bit further down from where I wanted it to go, but it still looks like it's still in this falling wedge. Let's see. Sometimes you got to redraw stuff and have get the full. Right. So this to me looks like a resistance area that we're currently at. It is making a push here. You guys can clearly see that we're right at the resistance line. All right. We're still at negative momentum, right? So this actually would not be the worst place to take a position because we're still in negative momentum. We haven't even created this this positive momentum yet, right? So that's kind of what happens, right? So like you want to enter, usually it depends on how quick or what type of time frame you're trading on. I always tell everybody stick to one time frame. If you're entering on a 15-minute chart, then make sure you exit on a 15-minute chart. Don't zoom out to a weekly and be like, oh well, I think I'm going to sell here on the weekly chart. No, that'll screw you all up. So just if you're trading on a daily and you get the buy signal on a daily chart, just trade the daily chart. Okay. If you guys want to test out our signals here, you can do so in our Discord. We offer a 7-day free trial on those, and we have tons of different indicators now. We have the wave trend indicator. I can pull that up for you guys real quick. It's kind of similar to the volume momentum indicator, but it basically just shows the oscillator and the signal, right? So the signal is the green line here, and once you get the oscillator crossing up to the signal, that means you're going to get a move to the upside. Obviously, once you cross the plane here, you're talking about a big move, right? And then we have the auto trend line indicator, which you guys can clearly see here. It shows you the trend of what's happening here. So, you know, I don't have to do as much TA, but I still like to do the TA even though we have the indicator now. And it shows the ribbon, so you guys can kind of see that when you're towards the bottom of the ribbon and you're getting a nice bounce here, obviously off support areas, you probably want to take a nice long position there, and then set your take profits right at each fib extension. To get the targets on a fib extension, how you do it, or how I do it, is you go to your swing high. Make sure you guys include the wicks. Swing high to your swing low. We're obviously in a downtrend, so we're going to be swinging higher, right? If we come out of this pattern. So we're looking at the first take profit area on this asset would be around 363 satoshis, and we might just like back test again and then just try to get back above it and then test this area 406, right? That's kind of how these fib extensions work. You want to take profits there and then buy the back test, okay? And then just trade it all the way up. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, guys. This is another one, Lando. I'm not gonna cover that one. Chainlink. Chain link. Chain link looks like it's in an area of value down here. If you guys fib it from the previous swing low here, you can kind of get an idea of areas of value on chain link. Okay, I'm fibbing from the swing low to kind of get an idea of how far retrace we're going to get. We're actually sitting at the 382 fib extension, which is the beginning stages and part of a potential bullish reversal. Okay, so obviously you guys can clearly see that we're sitting on right above the 50 moving average here, and the 382 fib extension is the start of that. So let's check our oscillators and see on the daily, are we ready? We are showing bullish divergence on the daily chart. Okay, we are showing it on the daily chart. You guys can clearly see that we're rounding a bottom here on the RSI. We are going to start to head back up. Okay. This could be an entry point for Chainlink, okay, for all you guys watching here. I didn't post this trade setup just yet, but I might actually post this after the stream this evening, okay? Now, if you guys want access to all my trading alerts and all my trade alerts, please definitely DM me after the stream here, and we'll get you guys all set up, okay? ICX, this one failed to break out. Maybe it'll do it now. Got another reversal wick down here on ICX. Go to our oscillators. We have a stupid amount of divergence that's been being built here. Oh. Not enough demand for this asset right now. Happens. It's been in a huge downtrend. So I may not give this one's tough, man. It's trying to break out. It tried to break out here and fake breakout, broke back down to the channel. It hasn't really proven to make any higher lows here. That's a problem with this asset. So maybe just sideline ICX for right now. If you guys have any stocks you want me to look at too, I also do stock alerts and stock setups. Obviously, I'm definitely a lot better at analyzing crypto. It's a 24/7 market. It doesn't close. This is not really subject to intraday type trading. So. But this stock, Qualcomm, was one of those stocks that I really liked. Term, it looked pretty good to me on the weekly day. I was looking at it. We're getting that nice bounce off the 20 EMA here. Although our wave trend oscillator is kind of signaling that we are going to get a cross down, which we are doing right now. But our RSI is sitting still in the bullish control zone. This could be an area of value to buy a dip, right? So perhaps there is a setup on this. Kind of look if we identify a pattern here, guys. Guys, usually what you want to do before you even look at entering a trade is see if there's an established pattern, okay? Whether it be an ascending triangle, descending triangle, bear flag, anything. Any type of pattern is what you're looking for. This to me is in a huge bull. This is tremendous, actually. Great pattern to trade. Okay, established since 1999, 2000. We've been establishing this pattern. Okay, UCOM. Like we're getting close to a breakout area here. This is a weekly chart, guys, if you guys are just tuning in. This is QCOM, the stock ticker. Look at our oscillators weekly. So obviously we are just kind of setting the oscillator here. Get approach, get close to the top of this channel here. So it looks like we're just pulling back. and maybe reset the oscillators for the move to the upside. This is a nice 3-bar play up, guys. I think on the daily here, right? We have this this engulfing candle here, resting bar. It's gonna probably try to get it back above the 20 EMA. Let's get the daily chart. We are building this negative momentum. Obviously, looks like we might be rounding out. We are getting this bounce and sitting around 48 on the RSI. So this could be an area of value to trade Qualcomm. Okay, I call this one out in the channel as well. Right. If you guys haven't done so already, man, just make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Maybe provide a comment down in the comment section below if there is something that you want me to look at later. I'm glad to do so. Okay. Momo was another one I think that was in a decent pattern. This one was more of in a bearish pattern on shorter term here, but longer term it's definitely in a bull flag. As you guys can clearly see, that we've been in this pattern now since December 16th, December 2016. We're continuing to make higher lows here. It looks like the price action is contracting, which is looking side. We got our neckline here. This to me looks good on the daily or on the weekly. Daily, on the daily, also looks pretty good, right? So we're creating this negative momentum still, but not ever so slight. Actually looks like it's sort of weaning off, right? If we end up holding up here, we could get a nice move, right? Now our take profit areas, longer term. I mean, consecutive higher lows, right? Yes, we're also making lower highs too, so keep that in mind, that if this does break down further and fails to break out, it will be a bearish break for sure. But for right now, we're still holding up in this triangle, and we're still in the pattern. This definitely could be something to look at or to trade, okay? Is FET on the move, man? Looks like we're just bouncing off the moving average here. Looks promising on the hourly, all right? Got that just regular bullish divergence, and we're building it here too. But this does just look like a bounce. But at a critical area, right? We made a low, now we bounced off it again, kind of made a double bottom on a 15-minute. Doesn't hold as much weight as a longer time frame, but this was where the neckline was, where we broke out. So see how this runs. Make sure you guys check out 3 Commas. We have our automated bot trading on 3 Commas right now, and you guys can check out all the signals we provide there. Obviously, they are the same STP signals that you see here, but they are running on smaller time frames, and this will automate your trading. Let me just show you guys some quick testimony here from our Discord channel, from some of our current subscribers. They're currently doing with our bots. So here we go. We have Crypto Soldier. He posted results from yesterday. He made $13. It was a low volatility day, right? So here you go. We have Kenwa posting trades. Crypto Soldier again having a $70 day, $100 day. These are real testimonials, guys. $81. He's made almost $500 since he started the bot, so you guys can clearly see that. Mad Dog 3.64% in that day. He's in 22 days. He's up almost 50%. Okay, so these bots are for real, man. They're not. They're no joke. All right. Make sure you guys check those out. All right. Is FET, Doc, VeChain, and Data a good short-term combo? Data. Well, Data looks like it's just on a pullback, right? It looks like it might still be holding into this triangle, but we might have to get some more data on it, right? Still create that negative momentum for now, okay? It looks like it's actually building negative momentum, and it hasn't. And on the wave trend oscillator, it hasn't crossed down yet, so I don't know. I'd be a little careful here. And this stochastic RSI hasn't crossed up yet, but you could be accumulating down here for it for sure. It looks like it's trying to maybe reverse the price action here right at the 6.8 fib extension, which would technically be a higher low than this low. So you're gonna have to kind of wait and see what happens on. Yeah, so we have a low and trying to make a higher low, and it looks like it's back testing it once again. So if this ends up holding, I would assume we have 1, 2, 3 higher lows. Probably going to be set up for a nice move, right? Still kind of trailing this negative momentum for now. Maybe setting up for a bigger move. It's possible, but for right now, I think it still looks pretty bearish on the daily chart. I'll be honest with you. It is below the 20 EMA. It may not hang out there for long. It might actually just, pop back over the 20 EMA. So it's possible this could be an area, take a position or start to take a position or dollar cost average yourself into a position. But it looks like it fell out of the triangle. So just kind of be careful with this. Is what I'm saying. But FET, Doc, and VeChain I think are definitely gonna make nice moves, right? We went over those already. For sure. Those are probably gonna be some nice longer terms or shorter term swings that you guys can trade for sure. Okay. TNT was another one we're looking at, right, Frederick? I think it's creating some sort of inverse head and shoulders pattern on the hourly down there. Go to the daily. It looks, what it kind of looks like ZRX a little bit, where it touched the top trend line, failed, and kind of, trying to break out of it. Look at ZRX after this, actually. So 1 failed break, 2 failed breaks, 3rd failed, 4th failed break. This could be not a bad area to pick up that TNT here if it ends up holding this trend line, right? So if we go to the 8-hour chart, we are finishing or crossing maybe close to up on the negative momentum side here. We are getting some divergence happening from October. So there's that. And we are holding above this breakout that we had, okay? And this is the 20 EMA that we're holding. And if we continue to hold this, then that looks promising enough for a move out, okay? TNT. But this is, to me, looking like a descending triangle, so I would be wary, a little wary of this pattern. Okay. Look on the 3-day chart, we have our side pointing down into the bearish territory, positive momentum also pointing down. So I probably wouldn't trade this. This looks like it's just going to reject this area here. So if you are, just set a tight stop. Okay. And let's look at ZRX. Yep. So this one failed to break out a couple times already. It isn't a huge falling wedge. There is that validity to this pattern. It hasn't technically broke the pattern just yet. It's still technically in it. Just a bunch of failed breaks is never good, meaning it's not getting enough volume to break out. It's sitting below the 20 EMA on the 3-day chart. We go to the daily, kind of get a better idea. It is still holding these levels though. Okay, it hasn't made lower lows just yet, but this does look like to me a 3-bar play down. All right, that goes. Oscillators, yeah. So the oscillators are pointing down. We could be making some divergence potentially. It hasn't played out just yet. But we are sitting in bearish territory. Okay, DRX now. All right, I think that's gonna basically wrap up the stream for this evening. We'll just look at Bitcoin here one last time before we jump the call or the stream here. And it looks like Bitcoin is rejecting the 20 EMA for right now. So this could just chop around here for a little bit before it does anything serious. We just started creating that positive momentum, so this could just be for the hourly. Yeah, so that 3-bar play down in effect right now. But we could just make a higher low here, right? And then reset the oscillators and try again to break. But again, on the hourly, this does look kind of bearish, right? We are weaning off the positive momentum. We are I do an ace. So yeah, this does look inherently bearish for right now on the hourly. We are losing positive momentum here, so maybe wait. You're gonna try to enter along. Maybe try to wait for the 7,400 area. That would maybe be good. But look. You're kidding me, man, right? I'm sorry to hear that, Ace, if that's true. Yeah, your uncle, right? Man, I'm really sorry to hear that. Man. No, I'm not laughing, man. That's terrible. I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, so anyway, on Bitcoin here, obviously where we are 3-bar playing down right now, okay? We have that igniting bar, we have this resting bar, and bar down. All right. Again, Ace, I'm really sorry to hear that. Terrible. Yep. So let's just see what Bitcoin does here. If it ends up making a higher low, it'll be good. But for right now, this on the hourly looks not so good. Looks bearish. Okay. Natural gas. NG is Nova Gold Resources. That's the wrong ticker. You mean NG? Do you mean NGL? Maybe just natural gas USD or... Oh, NG futures? And just double confirm for me, Ace, if that's what you're looking for. I see this huge gap down here. I think these are futures contracts though. So, but this is a bullish reversal wick right here. So there's that, and there's this big gap to fill up here. So this could be an area of value. What is it? F. Am I on the right chart here? Sorry. Alright, yeah, so if this is the chart you're looking at, obviously a huge gap down on the hourly that we see here. If we go to like the weekly chart, we technically made a higher low, okay? Try to get an idea of what's happening here. So okay, yeah, so looks like it's just bouncing off that trend line, right? So obviously it's bear flagged and it's in a downtrend overall, but it is pivoting from here. Made a lower high, but is making technical higher lows. So one could take a long position here, just to play the bounce right on the weekly. Get some targets for you. There's some targets on this if you were to day trade it. You could potentially get the $2.50 area right here. Okay, is a take profit area. Let's see if this is a pattern here. So this does look like some sort of falling wedge, right? Yeah, I could see this being some sort of falling wedge pattern that it's in. Okay. So the measured move on this wedge is right around 70%. That's a pretty big move, okay? So if it does get out of it, you're looking towards the top, right, around this $4 area. Okay, so if you were to swing it and this was to be a breakout of the wedge, and on the weekly, it does still kind of look pretty bearish, okay? So just be careful trading this. So yeah, I just wait for this to maybe form a bottom. Cron? No, I didn't look at Cron. Take a look at it real quick. So yep, Cron's still in that falling wedge. Obviously made a higher low here, making series of higher lows. We're still in negative momentum, but obviously we're rounding a nice bottom here, right? And we do have this bit of divergence happening here, okay? This is a 3-day chart. We'll go to daily. We are awfully close to the wedge again, okay? It does look like we might get a breakout tomorrow on this. We have exaggerated bullish divergence on a daily. Those calls that I had bought. It wasn't enough time. So yeah, it's all good. I got wrecked on those. But maybe this week I'll buy some calls for Kron. This looks pretty good. We've kind of rounded a nice bottom here. So maybe we try to get out. Exaggerated means a bigger than normal move. That's what this looks like to me. Okay. You know, you have standard bullish divergence that kind of looks like the opposite. Yeah. So this, yeah, I mean this is exaggerated, right? Like, yeah, but let's look at the oscillators here, man. I mean, we're still sitting at 45 on the RSI. It's not like I'm longing something that's you know, way overbought on the daily, you know? Just saying. And it just looks like it's consolidating, right? That positive momentum on the 4-hour is just a consolidation. I may not even play this, but I'm just saying it does look like it could have a break. We had one failed break, two failed breaks, you know, usually third time's a charm, right? So there's that. And the only thing I don't like about this chart is that on the weekly, it fell below that 236 fib extension, okay? That was that back test we had the other last week or something. So this to me still looks pretty bad. I mean, it might try to get out of here again. You know, it's definitely possible. Obviously, on the weekly, we're still sitting at 30 on the RSI though. So we need some more rounding action out of here. We're still in negative momentum on the weekly. Look at Alpha for APHA, Afria. So. So major swings, we're sitting in between that 50 and 382 area, okay? You guys are just tuning in. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. All right, so are we in a pattern, right? Are we in some sort of pattern? Looks like we're just in some sort of downsloping, consolidating pattern here, right? So not really anything out of the ordinary, just downsloping consolidation. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate you joining the stream tonight, man, and we'll be in touch, all right? So check this out. We got our swing high here, okay? So I mean, we are looking like we are trying to have some sort of reversal here. It is one massive bull flag, yes. Are we showing signs of reversal here? This could be definitely a long-term area to accumulate this stock, right? Because look, I mean, we're looks like our negative momentum is better to buy on the way down, right? So I mean, this doesn't mean that we can't go lower. We could back test this $3.60 area. That's possible. But it looks like on the weekly we're trying to round a bottom. Okay, we're trying to round this up here. Trying to. I know the whole sector is in shambles. So. I think you know. It's still obviously still bearish, right? But could try to trade this here. I mean, let's go to like a daily. Yeah, so we kind of bounced off this bottom trend line where we're trying to consolidate here, maybe to make a move higher. Let's look at the oscillators. Yeah, so we actually do have that exaggerated bullish divergence here. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Do we have any other? Are we in any other pattern within this pattern? Are we in a wedge? It looks like we are in a wedge, right? Looks like we are kind of in a falling wedge. If you guys look carefully, if you guys take the bottom trend line of this downsloping channel and kind of draw it all the way down, okay, we're in basically that. We're in a falling wedge. We're in a falling. Yeah, you can do that, man. That's appreciated. I don't. I mean, you could just. I don't have stream elements set up on this account just yet. Ace, I'll talk to you after the stream. It's fine. Figure that out. But I appreciate the donation, man. That's really appreciated. Okay, so going back to APHA here, we are in a falling wedge. Okay, downsloping consolidation, falling wedge pattern. We have. Looks like we're trying to pivot here. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a low risk area to take longs. Looking at 163% measured move on this wedge. 163%. We get out of this thing. That's pretty crazy, right? Puts us right at the 786 extension. We get out of this. I mean, that's a crazy wedge. All right, I'll look at ACB. Yeah, I think I was trading ACB. Right, so it looks like I circled the areas of where. Why are you ignoring that huge wick on your falling edge? Let me go back to that. Let me talking about this wick here. Because on the daily, it looks like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because if you go to the weekly chart, you can kind of see that it's just a wick. So I'm not ignoring it. You can cut through wicks, okay, when drawing trend lines. You just can't cut through candle bodies, okay. Yeah, maybe I need to draw this a little bit lower to get below it, okay. And if we go to regular candles. Yeah, so like basically regular candles here just kind of fell out of the pattern and then came back into it, right? That happens all the time, right? Falls out. We have like maybe a fake break out of the pattern and then back into the pattern. Yep. Yep, so that looks good to me. I think we can get out of this. It's possible. Again, we are crossing up on the weekly here, and we are sitting at 36 on the RSI. Yeah, no problem, Ace. No problem, man. What was the other ticker we're looking at? Oh, ACB. Ooh, we got those overbought sell-off candles on the weekly here. Looks like it's death crossing on the weekly, man. This does not look good. This looks like absolute garbage right now. Looks like absolute garbage. Looks like it tried to have a... Didn't do it. We are oversold on the weekly. Yeah, it doesn't look very good at all. If we can. We're at the bottom of the channel for whatever that means. So maybe take longs down here, but it just doesn't look so hot on the chart at all. Um, yeah, it's probably right around this this 150 area. We might get an oversold bounce here to the horizontal line again. So there's that. We might get that oversold bounce. Yep. So yeah, I mean, you got your right shoulder here, your head, and we'll probably make this right shoulder. If it really completes a head and shoulders pattern, it could go back down to 48 cents. Okay. This would be sick. This would be disgusting. I'm just analyzing a chart pattern here. This is in no shape, way, or form an accurate measure of what's to come. I'm just looking at it. Okay. I'm just looking at a fractal pattern here. Yeah, 3 peaks. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Yes, sir. Okay, so you want to measure it from there? We can do that for sure. It's about a 50% move down, right? Which would put you yeah, I mean like 275 area or kind of like where we're at, but that would make sense at the bottom of this channel. So yeah. Yeah, this could be an area of value, like I said. On the daily, we are showing some signs of bullish divergence, okay? We are showing that on the volume momentum oscillator. As far as the wave trend is concerned, we haven't really shown it yet. The daily, you know, we bounced out of oversold territory and now kind of sitting in the 35 RSI area. So if we do end up making a move to the upside, yeah. A very steep wedge, but we can't really draw that, man. So straight down. But you could probably get a back test around this 350 area. That would make sense. Maybe you just consolidate here and showing signs of exaggerated bullish divergence on the daily. There is that. There is that. Looks like it's trying to round out here. Yeah, for sure. Definitely go with the organization that has better fundamentals. You know. Want to look at AMD real quick? Looks like it's making a nice invert. Down a little bit. Oh, party? Yeah. Party City. I drew this and it where it bounced and it backtested and failed. Man, what a garbage stock this is. Looks pretty terrible. Wow. But okay, but wait a minute. Did we make a higher did we make a higher low? Oh my god. It looks like it made a higher low and we're coming out of negative momentum. Our RSI is kind of pointing up here. I don't know. This looks like absolute trash. I'm trading it. Definitely trade at your own risk. This thing is obviously annihilated and probably is due for some sort of bounce. There's that. You have a gap here to fill around $2.15. This $2.22 area, obviously an area of potential it can get to. And then on the daily, you have your resistance here at $4.20. And you have obviously this big gap to fill here. Dumpster fire stock. I wouldn't touch it, man, but that's just me. You could trade it for sure. You could trade that bounce. ON. This stock is nice. The long-term outlook on this is nice too. Monthly chart on this stock. This looks obviously like up in a here. Monthly. Monthly looks like we're about to break out of this, right? Measured move around 33%. Bullishly engulfing on the weekly, back tested 20 EMA. How our oscillator is looking like? Oh, we just created this positive momentum. RSI sitting in the bullish control zone. This definitely is stock you might want to be trading long term. We are about to break out of this this bull flag that it's in, which I'd like to call no, Ace, it's all good, man. People are just mostly listening and taking notes probably on what I'm doing here, and that's great. I'm sure my wife hates me right now, but all good. ORHOF, okay. Annihilated, like every other weed stock. $618 fib extension, okay, 618 fib extension. All right, this could be an area of reversal. The RSI looks like complete trash, so we're still in negative momentum. Still not looking too hot on the weekly, okay. Like idea. Okay, the 3-day looks a little bit better, right? You can kind of see that we got this this divergence happening. Okay, this divergence happening from July to November. Okay, but it's still kind of looking not so good yet. Okay, but that doesn't mean this isn't a bad place to take long, because we are at an area of potential reversal. Okay, now. You could probably draw like a harmonic pattern on this, probably like some sort of Gartley pattern. But let's go to a daily. Okay. Daily looks good actually, like it's gonna make a nice run. Okay, we have 1, 2, we have almost triple MACD bullish divergence here happening on the daily chart. Okay. Yeah, they do. They all look wrecked. But the daily on this looks like it's about to cross up. I will say that, okay? We're showing some divergence here on the daily. Are we in a pattern of sorts? It's like a pretty steep down-sloping channel. Even I have 2 touch points, so there's that. Looks pretty vertical, man. Looks pretty down sloping like that. You know, we're definitely gonna get probably a bounce to this $3.20 area. That's definitely feasible. Okay, nice. Until the market opens, right? I mean, right. What else you got? ITHUF. Oh. Stock looks wrecked, man. OSTK, man. Ooh. Looks like it's getting close to the apex of this wedge, okay? Could be good for a move here, okay? Nice, man. I'm really sorry to hear about the loss, man. Wow, was he? Sorry to hear that, man. I really am. It's terrible, man. Looks like this double bottomed, man, on the daily chart. This could be definitely an area of value. OSTK. Stock is garbage, man. Man, I can't believe this thing had triple MACD, exaggerated bullish divergence, and nothing came of it. Like, nothing came of it. Crazy. Anyways, OSTK. Looks like it. $5 area probably looks like an area where it can get to. Okay. Complete trash. So OSTK, man. I don't know. I'd probably stay away from this stock at this point. So maybe it dumps back to this level here, where it has support area, $5. I guess it really all depends on what Bitcoin does, right? So LEG. So here's ETH real quick. It's like holding some support from back here. This, looks like we do have some divergence, okay, on the daily for ETH. Now the weekly still making negative momentum. We are about to cross up on the weekly. I'll look at that in a second. I'm just gonna look at LEG here for Nick. Is this the stock you're looking at, man? Like it in Platt Incorporated? Looks like a beautiful pattern to the upside. Looks like continuation monthly here. So we got, okay, so here's a classic example of regular bullish divergence, okay, Ace. So you have the negative momentum kind of down sloping like this, but you have your wave trend actually diverging, right? Jackie. And you have your RSI, right, also diverging as well, right? Just bullish divergence, you know, this is not exaggerated, this is just normal classic bullish divergence, whereas I was showing before you had exaggerated stuff happening. So this is just regular bullish divergence happening here. On the daily chart, we just bounced off the daily 20 EMA, Nick, so maybe you want to take an entry as soon as the market opens, obviously depending on how it opens. This looks like an area. Could catch this move up, right? So here's your triangle, Nick, on LEG, okay? So it's definitely going to try to make an attempt at testing the top here and might come back down, make a higher low, bust out of it. Or it could just bust out of it here. Usually ascending triangles break out about 50% of the way through the pattern, okay? Then a huge bull flag, all right? Huge bull flag. And on the 6-hour chart, you can see that it has exaggerated divergence, right? There's your exaggerated. Jackie. All right, what else did you want me to look at, Ace? BTC USD longs. Holy shit, yeah. Lots of longs, man. We haven't seen this many longs since February of 19. Wow, monthly's at all-time highs, man. That's crazy, dude. Craziness. This one's a pretty crazy one. Ace fetch. I was explaining before that go to the BLX, okay? This may not have any merit to today's time because of the CME and backed and shit, but we had this death cross here, we made this nice bottoming pattern here. And we had the golden cross, but we never actually crossed below the 20 EMA last time, okay? This is what is different this time, okay? So, but we're about to get this cross here, right? We had our bottoming here. Here's our bottom. And then we're about to get the cross up. But again, we're below the 20 EMA. I don't think we were ever below the 20 EMA last time. So we'll see what happens. If we end up getting the cross up, then we're gonna get positive price action. I mean, just the way the moving averages go, right? So it depends on what they want to do. If they continue to manipulate backed and they continue to manipulate, you know, the futures market and they short it and they continue doing that, then they're going to suppress the price, right? So I think that's what they want to do right now because I think they want to extend. They want to extend the bull market that we're in right now, especially if Trump gets reelected. Trump's not really a fan of Bitcoin. And that lady that owns or that's running the backed futures is like in cahoots with Trump, so they're definitely going to do their best to try to suppress the price for now, I think. I can, yes, I can. That's really funny. I can change the color. Work. Yeah, work. Work looks good from last I checked. Look at that wick, man, on the weekly. That wick. It could be, man. It could be. But they could be, yeah, exactly. They could be going long to fill their... So, you think they're just longing to, like, get wrecked, man? I mean, I don't know. Like, are we gonna get a huge breakout? Is that what you're thinking? I think we're close. If we are gonna get it, we're close to it, getting one. Okay, so work looks really good, man. Looks like it's about to break out of this this downsloping resistance. Okay, We're still making positive momentum here. It looks like we're breaking higher. Okay. So, the 4 hour does look a little bearish, right? But I think we're technically out of it. Technically pretty much out of it. So we'll see what ends up happening here. It might just trade sideways for a little bit. It didn't really have any news catalyst to bust it out, so but, okay. Look at Ravencoin one more time. This looks nice, man. Looks real nice. You guys are funny, man. What links? What are you talking about? Oh. You mean links in the chat for YouTube? Is that what you're talking about? Anyways, I've been streaming for like an hour and a half. Oh, you know what that could be is the stream element spot. Oh yeah, Link. Link looks good. I covered it before, man. Looks like we're at a reversal area on Link. Right at that 302 fib extension, okay? We're obviously in a massive uptrend. Oh, you want Link USD? Looks like we're making that cup and handle, right, Ace? So we got this cup here. This being the bit of a handle happening. I made a bottom here. Looks like we're making a higher low here. All right, so bouncing off the heart line here, holding the probable uptrend that it's in. Yeah, I'm in log scale. Yep. So bouncing off this 50% area, obviously making a low down here. We made a lower high, but we're making a higher low, right? So we're in this downsloping channel, okay? We are making that divergence on the daily. Probably around this bottom here. Make another attempt to break out of this, okay? All right, I think that's all I got for this evening, boys and girls. I thank you guys for joining the stream this evening, and make sure you guys hit that like, that bell, and that sub if you haven't done so already. And we'll catch you guys in the next weekly candle close on Bitcoin, all right? So we'll have everyone have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great night.